What's going on? Welcome back to Soul Talk. My name is Samuel,
My name is Terrell.
and we're gonna get it on. This is episode 3. We were kind of at a loss for where to go, honestly. With here, scoot over just a little bit. Kind of get framed in the picture. There we go. Just like where to go, what topic to talk about. We talked about the beginnings and what the beginning looks like last time. And where do you really go from that? Because we're talking pretty broad. We want to get detailed, but we don't know what you guys relate to. We don't know what would sound best or what would influence you guys the most. So for this episode, we're just kind of thinking, what are some questions? T had said, man, we need somebody on here to ask us questions. And I said, well, let's just ask each other questions, write them down, and talk about them on the cast. So that's kind of what we're doing, kind of talking about thinking, perfection, and like what our thought process is in everyday decision making and things like that in this episode.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with the definition of perfect and what it means to you or us, and just a definition of it overall, because I believe it's a little um,
Misinterpreted.
misinterpreted. Thank you. Yes, very. So to me, perfect means, of course, not doing everything right, but it is trying to do everything right. Because we're human beings, so we're gonna make human errors. But if you don't correct those human errors, then you're not learning. If you're not learning, then you're not growing towards perfection,
Mm.
which will never be perfect. But as long as you're trying, that is perfect in my eyes.
So you believe that no human can be perfect, but
All right.
striving for perfection. So I can't speak. Striving for perfection, in a sense, is perfection for a human.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Because
hell yeah.
people say, "Oh, we're not perfect, so this is okay for me to do bad," when they're consciously knowing they're doing bad.
Using perfectionism as an excuse to not be good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I mean, this morning, like I'll touch on this morning on what I put on my Snapchat. I do like a. I'm trying to do a morning soul talk every day, just like a little message what I'm going through. And this morning, man, I had like two things that were just fucking me off. Making I could have had a really bad morning this morning. But I said, what's making your morning bad? Is it your fault that your morning's bad? You know what I mean? Like I could have woke up this morning and the things that I did to cause my morning to be bad, I could have said, "Oh well, fuck it. Today's a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Today's a bad day, and since it's a bad day, I'm gonna go do drugs.
Right.
And because I'm gonna go do drugs, I'm gonna go drink too. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and I could just use that as an excuse to go and do all the things that I'm not supposed to do. You know?
When you know damn well,
Exactly. Exactly.
know better, do better.
I'd say for me, my definition of perfection, um, before this was perfection. It
Mm-hmm.
was in order for me to be perfect, I can never do wrong. I can never mess up. Nothing. Everything I do has to be perfect to a T. And now I kind of believe along the same lines, but I also believe it's a mentality based thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a perfect mindset for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore my life is perfect in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And perfect could look different to you than it could to me, but that doesn't change right and wrong, like we
Mm-hmm.
just said.
Right, and it's like I say, it's trying to achieving it, or just trying, and trying. As long as you keep trying, you'll keep getting better.
Mm.
And as a human, in a human definition, that is perfect because we can't be perfect, so we can try. So once, like I said, I'm repeating myself.
I
So
know. It's just the same message. It's so
yeah, and
cut.
it's like if I make a mistake, I want to learn from it. And if someone say points my mistake out and tries to teach me, they're perfect for that.
Yeah.
If they're trying to make fun of you, that's not perfect. That's not the right thing to do. Let's try to help each other, like let's
Yeah.
both be great. Let's both try to be
I
perfect.
mean, I'd say you saying that to me, I think on our own, separate, we'd be perfect. Well, perfect. We'd be as good as we can get.
Right.
But together, because we hold each other accountable, man, we're even more perfect. Because we have you guys, because y'all are hearing us, and we're going to keep you accountable, and you keep us accountable for our actions and words. We're all more perfect. We're even better together.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of the same thing as rich. Like people think, um, I want to be rich or I'm not rich. When it's like, well, what does rich mean to you? Same thing. People give up because you need $1 billion to be rich. And it's like, nah, you still can have your time, your peace, and be rich in those ways. Like, and just have comfortability, even financial comfort. You can live on your own, drive a regular car, have a regular job, and in a sense, you can be rich in that way.
I mean, I think you have financial rich, and then you have, like you said, we're already rich. You know, I'm rich in love. I really give a fuck about everybody I come in contact with. I'm rich in knowledge, and you cannot take that away from me. You know, I'm rich in a lot of things. I'm rich in emotion. But also, I mean, look, 10 years ago, the money we make now, we'd be rich.
Right.
To 15-year-old me, like, I'd be rich right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm nowhere close to being rich.
Mm-mm.
But it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
Images in the eye of the beholder. So I'd say with this definition of perfection, what or how does this influence your process of thinking and decision making? Like, what does it do for you?
So with having perfection in mind, like, how can I always be better? How can I be perfect? And please do not misinterpret my words either, because I'm never going to be perfect. But how can I try and keep trying and keep trying? How can I be as godly as I can? In other words, we're not God, so that's a different discussion.
Chill.
But yeah, because it's like it's kind of a joke now. But what would Jesus do? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, do the right thing. And that's all perfect is, doing the right thing.
You know, that's funny because we were talking to one of our coworkers today, and we were telling her, and she almost looked shocked whenever we said we were talking about honesty, talking about genuineness, and I'm talking about how yesterday this chick at this clothing store I was at, I'm leaving and she's pinky promising me something. I'm like, you know, why the fuck would I pinky promise you? Like, you know, we don't pinky promise because we're men of our word.
Right.
You know, like we do what we say, we mean what we say. And people are shocked by these thoughts, and people are shocked by the words that come out of my mouth because nobody's saying that. Everybody's lying. Everybody's.
I mean, not only that, like, I take it as, I mean, with me living and dying for truth, and just living in truth for so long, so much, that I take it as disrespect. Yeah. Like, you don't trust me. Like, you're calling me a liar. You should trust every word I say. And it's unfortunate, of course, I understand, because of the world we live in, and everyone believes that everyone lies. So it's kind of a trickle down effect to where, yeah, everyone lies. No.
Not everybody lies.
No. At worst, the truth won't be told fully, but I'm never going to lie and manipulate you and mislead you purposely, knowing that I know the real truth.
And I say on top of that, just to play devil's advocate and give a new definition of lying, that includes saying shit you don't know about. Today we're at work and I'm not going to give the exact example in case people we know are watching, but I tried to say that I knew something that I didn't during like a training thing. And my boss was like, somebody that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're not going to say a damn thing unless you know it for sure. You know, in conversations with T, right after that, we go and have dinner. And he's like, oh, do you know about this company? I said, I don't want to say I know about the company. I just know they're big, you know, because I don't know, you know. So that includes saying the truth and what you do know and not saying what you don't, you know.
And that kind of goes into, I might bring this up in the future. I might have brought it up in the past, but yin yang. Yin yang is really big on the way of thinking, and it's good or bad, yes or no, hot or cold, do or don't. It's very simple. So if you don't know, you don't know. You either know or you don't.
Yeah, it's all balanced.
So if you're following truth, you'll know when to talk, when to give advice, when not to, based off your truth that you live with.
Yeah, and I mean, I say you come to realize that, and you come to realize that organically in conversation with strangers. But like, as an example, like you and I, we're real. yin yang, real balance. You know, I'm emotion, you're logic, whatever. But even in conversation with us, you know when to say something to me. I know when to say something to you. You know when not to say something. I know when not to say something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all balance. It's all organic. You know, it's you know what you're supposed to say. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Why aren't you doing and saying these things when you're supposed to? You know, or why are you not shutting up when you need to? You know,
Yeah. So
so
that's part of the procedures of thinking in truth, and through the root is, I guess, perfection, because we all want to get better and strive for perfection. If you say are playing a sport, you're never going to make 100% of your shots, but in your head, you are going to try.
hell yeah.
You're going to try. You're not missing on purpose. So why wouldn't you do that in your everyday life? Like, try to be perfect.
It seems common sense when you say it, but
Right?
nobody thinks about this because we have the nobody's perfect excuse.
Yep.
I was like that in school. You know, I forgot. You said it last episode. C's get degrees or whatever, and that's just an excuse to like fucking bullshit.
Right.
And it's like, why would you even do that? Why would you even consider that an option to be under the average or be under perfection? You know, we should strive to do the best we can in whatever environment we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for me, as far as process of thinking, for me, yes, it goes back to perfection. That does influence my way of thinking, but mainly I'm focused on good or bad, right? So for me, I'm still starting out. I don't know if it'd be like this for you guys. For you, you're such on a detailed level to where I forgot what you told me today, but you're like, this is obvious. You should always be thinking this, you know, or it was, oh yeah, perception is reality. Yeah. And you kept saying that to me, and you're like, you know, I know you don't give a fuck what people are thinking about you, but you're talking about some inappropriate shit on the phone with me in the store, and I say, man, people are giving me weird looks. Well, no fucking shit, people are giving you weird looks.
That's their perception and their reality they're seeing.
Exactly. Even though you have no idea what I'm talking about. But for me, I think one is what I'm about to do benefit me in any way. Two, if it's not going to benefit me, why am I doing it? And benefit does not just mean pleasure or dopamine rush. It means financially, emotionally, spiritually. Am I going to benefit from the situation and this action I'm going to pursue? If not, is the sacrifice and consequence of these actions worth it? You know, so we're drinking wine right now, non-alcoholic, but we're drinking wine right now. Is the consequences of me drinking this compared to the benefits worth it? Benefits, I get knowledge on this bottle. I get knowledge on the region that this is from. Trentino, Italy. I get to know about it. I get to know about the maker, about the originator, the year, this kind of Pinot Grigio. Consequences, if I drink too much, I'll have a headache in the morning.
Palate.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, some people could look at this as, well, they're just making excuses because they're just drinking wine.
Well, that ties into our careers. We're servers. We serve at restaurants. I need this knowledge to make more money. Our boss told us, you know, you invest in sommelier training or wine for dummies, you add 30K onto your salary per year. And he said that to us, and we're like, I never thought about this shit this way. We need to go try some Bordeaux's and some Burgundies and some Sancerres like now. Like we need to get on this shit and drop some bread on some wine, whatever it is. But the consequences is if we drink too much, I might have a headache in the morning. You need to drink a lot of fucking wine to do that.
Right.
But that includes going out with friends. Is me like associating and being sociable worth the interaction versus the consequence in the morning of me being tired and staying out late. You know, so for me, good and bad, pros and cons. That's my process of thinking when doing something.
Definitely, as it should be. You know, like I said, that's why we started off with the definition of perfection, because before you do anything, you should be thinking of the right thing, and the right thing is perfect. And the right thing could be, to some people, it could be wrong.
That's true.
It could be wrong, but it's actually the right thing to grow and strive perfection. It also ties into the analogy of untying the bag instead of ripping it. Some people think untying the bag is wrong, but actually, I'm going to go through the difficulties of untying it correctly just so I can strive for perfection. And it's just a small example, but it's a big analogy
Of
for many
course.
things.
I mean, for me, I think we talked about it last episode, didn't we? I
What,
think the bag.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and how he would always untie the bag, and I'd be like, bro, just rip the fucking bag. But it took me hearing that analogy and hearing the information. So now every time I have a bag, I'm untying that bitch. Like I'm like no, like seriously.
It's not even that. I look at it as everything. Say, I once heard a video, um, like one time a coach told this person, "What is your weakest point? What is the most thing you hate doing in the gym?" Cardio. All right. Well, today you're gonna run. You know, that's an example as well as untying the bag. Like we all want to rip the bag, but that's the easy way out. Like
Hell yeah.
we all want to be lazy and not do difficult things, but that's the easy way out. If you do the difficult and follow difficult, then you will grow. You will grow
I
the
was
fastest.
I was gonna say that like with the good and bad, the consequences to your actions. Consequences aren't always negative. You know, for me, like I was gonna say, me getting up in the morning every morning, I'm going to lift these weights. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that consequence is I gotta get up early. I'm fucking tired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be sore the rest of my day, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the
That's
consequences to my
the
actions.
bad consequences. There's good.
Bad,
There's
but
good side
yes,
of that too.
the good is I'm gonna feel refreshed. I feel ready to go. I'm gonna drop some weight. I'm gonna either get stronger, drop some weight, whether I'm doing cardio or weight
Eat
training.
well. You have a successful day. It starts your day. Then you're tired from working out in your day, so you're gonna sleep in early and sleep well from getting your body tired. So you can think either or. So it's all on your head to think positively.
I mean, I haven't had meat in 4 days now. It's not even on purpose. Like just hanging out with him, it's fucking inevitable. But there's. I will say that the consequences, and I don't feel. It's not even a consequence. I don't feel fucking like stuffed after I eat. I'm not like, oh fuck, I need to go take a nap. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the benefits is like I got up this morning and went for a walk, and I felt great. And I didn't eat until 2 hours after I woke up to break my fast and have breakfast, break fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel encouraged. I feel warm. I feel great. You know, pimples clearing up a little bit. I don't even got pimples, but you know what I'm saying.
Health is wealth, y'all.
Health is fucking wealth, boy.
So we can get into. Did we already talk about this though? Kind of.
Yeah. Well, kind of. What led us to live this way? What led us to? I would say what led us to have this definition of perfection.
Mm.
What have we gone through to make us think this way? What have I gone through to make me have this
Okay.
process of thinking based on decisions?
That's why I was going to go into the. As we were children, a lot of us believed, if not most, or I mean all, if not all of us, believed that we were the only human and everyone else was a robot. I still believe that and feel that. So that's kind of what helps me lead in truth because I want everyone else to be human instead of these robots that are around that we call sheep today or whatever you may believe, zombies, I don't know, people that are just easily controlled, weak minded instead of having a strong, disciplined
Yes.
mind and being open minded and
Yeah.
critically thinking for themselves. That's very rare
It's
nowadays.
very, very rare.
So it's everyone to me is still a robot to where I'm like,
1 out of every 10 people are strong minded.
yeah, like why? So I want to going back to perception is reality. So if I give you the perception, not saying I'm lying either, because this is how I live and it's my integrity. If you go back to the past podcast, we talk about integrity, but I lost my train of thought. Um,
Your integrity, you're not lying about people being robots. This is truly how you feel. I mean, I don't know about him. Well, I do know about him, but I don't know about you. But I've felt that way ever since I was a kid. I'm
oh, perception is reality.
yes. Keep going.
So if I give you, if I have the utmost integrity and I'm doing the right things without no one looking or people looking, doesn't matter. I'm doing the right thing. Other people are going to see that, and other people are going to want to follow because
Yes.
people are weak-minded, so they're gonna follow somebody. So if you're gonna follow somebody, I want you to follow the right way.
Exactly.
And so watch my perception or anyone else's perception that's living in truth and have good charisma and energy, vibrant souls, good DNA, you know.
I mean, you can see it on people's faces. You know, I look at old pictures of myself, and that's not to say that I wasn't a real person back then, but you can see the bad intentions on my face.
The naiveness.
You know, I meet you and you try to shake my hand. I'm like, you know, what the fuck you looking at? Like, I'm guarding off. I'm standing like this. Like I already, you know, you can already tell that I'm a piece of shit just by the way I look. You come up to us, and just us as an example, but there's a lot of these people in the world. Our faces are brighter. Man, how you doing, man? It's so nice to meet you. My name's Samuel. You know, whatever, whatever. What do you do? I want to know you.
Yeah,
You
you can
know?
be rich, poor, as long as you're a human being and breathing.
Exactly.
I care for you,
Yes.
and I want to show you the right way. And not only that, the iron philosophy. I don't want you to touch the iron. So
We touched
please
it. Yeah.
listen to me or anybody else that's giving good advice, and make if someone is walking the right way on the right path, walk with them. Don't touch that hot iron and be hard headed because everyone else is touching the hot iron.
Yeah.
Like no.
I say, at least in my experience, majority of people that live in truth like us, or live the lifestyle we do, they do it subconsciously almost. Like they don't even realize, or they're not as vocal, or public about how they live. Like they just like how we say, of course I tell the truth. Why would I not tell you the truth?
Right. I mean, I want to touch on that too. I'm glad you
Please.
said that because if you start living in truth, or if you have before, or if you do currently, because a lot of people are like this with truth and lies and who they are. They're changing and making excuses. This is why, because of this. But if you live in truth, you will find your true purpose. Because once you're lying and doing different things that you shouldn't, that you know you shouldn't be doing, then your purpose is your path is being misled. Yes. So God's path, whatever God's plan, you tell the truth, it's gonna take you where you're supposed to go. But as soon as you lie, it's gonna derail you a little bit because that's not right. So now you're dealing with some irrelevant problems. Of course. Instead of if you were on truth, you wouldn't even be dealing with that.
I say not only that, back to the eye contact. You know, we talk about how important eye contact is. If I'm sitting here talking about all this to you, and I'm talking about this with T, whatever, and really behind the scenes, I'm acting a fool. I'm an asshole of a person. I'm doing dope, whatever it is. I couldn't come here and look my boy in the eye. I couldn't come here and look at him, tell him I love him, have real conversations. He's going to look at me and go, what the fuck is up with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you looking at the damn ground when we're talking? You know, every time I talk to my bosses or I talk to somebody in a position of power, I talk to another business owner, whatever it is, I'm looking you dead in your shit and you look at me right in mine because this is the key to the soul.
The window.
You're seeing my intentions. You're seeing, you know, what I'm looking at. If I'm looking at you, you can tell if I'm full of anger or deceit or deception, whatever it is. You can just tell. But whenever you look in my eyes, you're going to see love and compassion and truthfulness and righteousness in my heart. You know, it's just what it is.
Yeah, pretty much we can move on to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, why and what benefits you get from living this way. Like,
we talked a little bit about it last episode. I did towards the end. I didn't get emotional. Calm down. But yeah, I could have because I was talking about, I'm not going to now, but just because I've lived in hatefulness and darkness and deceptiveness, and I've been that guy that I'm meeting you and I'm looking at what I can take off you or money or whatever it is, comparative to now, you know, and I meet somebody new and I know that I fucking love you with all my heart, even though I don't know you. I can walk into any room. I can walk in my mama's house. I can walk in my boss's office, walk in T's house and look him dead in the face and just know that my intentions are pure. Mm-hmm. I have no guilt on my sleeves. I have no bad intentions. I have nothing weighing me down. I'm not sitting there watching porn for 4 hours before I go to work just to walk in and not be able to look the girls in the eyes because I'm so ashamed of mutilating myself. Like, I mean, that's what I say about porn,
dead.
self mutilation. But
Yeah.
I just,
That's big though. About
of
the
course,
guilt too.
yes,
That's why eye contact is big, because it's like, what are you thinking?
yeah. What do you?
What's in your head? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why are you acting like that? Like, something.
What are you hoping I don't notice?
Yeah. So eye contact is big, and it goes hand in hand with your innocence or guilt. So it's whichever way you want to live, and so if you kind of listen to what we're saying and take notes on it, whatever, take with a grain of salt, however you want to, in your daily life, and take
Please.
this, and you'll see for yourself that there's a lot of robots out there. And
Man,
even if you're a robot, you might be woken up, and you have to double think about your actions, because everything here is built for you to not think. So if you think about some things, you'll find out a lot.
Man, I'll say, I forgot what I was gonna say actually. Yeah, I had it right on the tip of my tongue and I just left it. But I'd say more benefits to this lifestyle is almost like I don't have to worry about myself, right? So like you have to be focused on what you're doing, whatever, cool. But I have no second guessings about my beliefs. I know what I believe. I know how I feel.
2 + 2 is 4.
2 + 2 is 4. Ain't not a motherfucker gonna tell me 6 because I know it's 4. I wake up and I wipe my ass after I shit. You don't gotta ask me if I did. Sorry, that was a bad analogy. Sorry, but like I know I'm straight. So if somebody's coming at me bent, I know that I'm good. You don't have to question me.
Yeah.
I come around T, I know he's good. That's my boy. If somebody's telling me, well, Terrell said this and he's trying to start a fight, you're a fucking liar. Because
Right.
I know my boy. I know my brother.
Right.
I'm consistent. I'm consistently me. And that's all I can be.
Mhm.
But that also gives me the opportunity to make a podcast and talk to other people. And, I can help you. I can focus on you for 30 minutes of my day, 10 minutes of my day, and break down who you are and what your habits are so that you can be like me.
Or be like
Not like
Jesus,
me, but
be like God, be like
exactly. Not me.
living in
but-
truth, and in your own way. We all can have our own way of truth, but it all leads to one truth. It all leads to one answer. If 2 + 2 is 4, maybe you're living 1 + 3. As long as it comes down to 4, it's all good. Not saying to be a cookie cutter person,
Yeah.
but
I told you that a long time ago. Shout out my grandmother. She said this to me a long time ago, but she would always try to have me do things a certain way. This is what you do. You wake up and you do this and you do this and you do this, and this is how you do this. And I'm waking up going, but I want to do this first, and I want to do this next, and I want to do this way. And it's all going to have the same solution at the end. It's all going to come to the same conclusion. You're just saying 2 + 2 is 4. I'm saying 1 + 3 because that's what works for me. You might not have the same remedies that we do because we're not you. And you're not us, but we're all going to be like Jesus. We're all going to be like Allah. We're all going to be like God. So however that looks in your life, that's something that you have to decide within yourself and find yourself. And maybe that does look like us. I don't know. But yeah,
I mean, some people think they're not built for it. Some people think it's too far fetched. Some people believe in society too much and excuse their actions because of society, because of everyone does it, or because it's a thing to do. But not,
that's
it's
bullshit.
2 + 2 is 4. So anything outside of that, I really don't care and don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I said it this morning. Like, if you are having these excuses, like if it's something you can control, let's say it's something you can't control, and you got family problems, your chick's acting crazy, whatever it is, it's still not an excuse for you to be a fucking bum. It's still not.
No excuse.
It's not. There's no excuse.
And I can attest to this because, as some of y'all know, my life hasn't been the easiest. I'm not saying it's been the hardest, but I know damn sure it ain't been the easiest.
I feel you.
So, and there's no excuse for me to lean on my past or lean on what happened, or because then I would still be there. I would have never grown.
Yes.
There's no excuse. You know better, you do better. Simple as that.
For the conscious and for the genuine.
For the conscious, for the genuine.
You know, ever since I started not making excuses for myself and not negotiating with myself, my life has changed 1,000%. You know, there's nothing in the world, and this goes for men and women, but I saw this through men's podcasts and stuff like that, and it was said, you know, a true man or a true woman does what they're supposed to do, not what they want to do, and you don't negotiate with yourself. If you need to get up in the morning, if I work at 10 a.m. and I need to get to the gym, I'm going to wake my fat ass up at 6 a.m. and hit the gym because that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to, but until I'm going to have to go to bed at 11 to get that 7 hours, I'm going to have to wake up at 6. I'm going to have to go work out. I'm going to have to come home and shower. I'm going to have to eat right so that I don't die at the age of 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you're supposed to do, and there's no excuse. And because of that, there's no self-negotiation. And that's really what I pray and hope for everybody, because there's a freedom and me going, my brain's going, this is what we're going to do, and my body does it. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't find that for a long time. That's why it's such a big deal for me.
That's the striving for perfection. Because even if, say, you don't make it to the gym that day, you were still striving. You were still trying. Then, you know, the next day you have to.
But that's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse, but it'll happen.
And you'll feel better
It'll
about
happen.
yourself.
Yeah. But it's based on how you learn from that, because it's a mistake. Because we're not perfect. So you will make a mistake. But if you don't learn from that mistake, then you're just messing up at that point.
It's all about how you react to situations, how you respond. It's all about the bounce back.
Not about the loss. It's about the shake back.
We shaking back, baby. I'll pop it. Let me stop, man.
The wine getting to you. The wine getting to you.
The girl will fall in love with me if I start dancing. It's not my fault.
Oh, you're not? No.
I said, what the fuck? Oh, man. You got anything else? All right. Well, I know it was short and sweet. You know, we want to know what you guys want to talk about. We have a.
Let me say something real quick.
Go right ahead.
If, please, you know, the viewers watching this, if you have a question about life, maybe it's your life, or just what does life mean to you? I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Random. You know, what does God mean? What religion mean to you? Or what does capitalism mean? You know, anything that you can think of that you want to feel like you want us to talk about, or our perception on it, just comment. We won't shout you out or anything. Yeah. We'll just make it a topic and talk about it.
And if you don't want to do a YouTube comment, I always put our Soul Talk Instagram and our personal Instagrams in the comments below. DM us if you want to be anonymous. It's straight. We just want to know. We want feedback. You know, we're putting this out here for y'all. I mean, and for ourselves. There's a lot of self-discovery that comes with making this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we have an idea for next week. Next week, we're going to talk about love, which is a big thing. It'll probably be a long episode, probably an hour or longer on that episode is what I'm assuming. But whatever you guys have, any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want us to talk to you, whatever, come on, because we want to talk to you. But that's it for this week. Short and sweet, a little bit of questions. We love you guys. Stay conscious and stay genuine. Bow, bow, bow.
Stay conscious.